Hello everyone, welcome back to Hare here. I know it's been a while. Uh, Walk has been crazy. Admittedly lost a little bit of motivation there for a moment, but with Lorwyn Eclipsed released, I thought I would finally get back into things, into the swing. And obviously, as always, here's the actual pre-release box. So, I know that there's been a few reports of people getting actual promos. Uh, the as always, the box is okay. It's actually nice that there's instead of getting like +1/+1 counters, they're doing the -1/-1 counters. Um, but a few Ninja Turtles packs will be released, so it'll be interesting if I get that as my promo. Um, the dice is nice. Let me adjust my. The dice is nice, and I actually like the orientation of the actual, like the letterization of some of the numbers. Um, recently, some of the dice have been. I actually have one right here. This is from. Uh, oh, this I think this is one of the Modern Masters one, but most of the numbers have been just extremely plain. The detailing on the numbers here is actually somewhat nice. Nice, so there's some additional orientation with it that is generally nice. And I like when they do like, oh, this just looks like a block stamp. Okay, so my promo is a flip Tristan Carlowis Cultivate on the front, and Tyswin Prominent Color on the back. Death Touch, when this creature enters or transforms into Mirror 3, if it's an elf card in your grave, if there's an elf, gain 2 life. Okay. At the beginning of your main phase, you may pay back if you do transform. Whenever you transform into Mirror 3 cards, then you may exile an elf on your grave. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life. At the beginning of your first main, okay. That is an okay thing. Let's dig into some of these packs. Obviously, with most of these, I'm not gonna be. I haven't. With most of these, I haven't done like an extensive like primer on all the on all of the cards in the set, but so somewhat going into this blind. I actually got 2 rares. I believe. Come on, focus. You gotta focus if you block my face. Dream Harvest. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of the library until they exile the total card with a total manual value of 5 or greater. Until end of turn, you may cast cards exile this way without paying any mana cost. 7 mana for this, but that actually seems like a pretty nice effect. Just mill and then potentially steal a few things. And the other one rare that I got is Bloodline Bidding. Go. Convoke. I like that they are bringing Convoke back, definitely in Lorwyn, but they're doing it in other colors outside of Celestia. Choose a creature type, return all creatures types from your graveyard to the battlefield, or from your graveyard. Mass return. Yeah, you had to be on a tribal support. Granted, in Lorwyn, tribal support is the biggest thing that you can go for, but like that is actually pretty cool. Okay. I am unsure of how I want to feel about this guy. Nightmare Sorrow. 4 mana for a flying lifelink or 2/3. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a -1/- counter on up to 1 target creature. I want to like this card. It's definitely going to have a place in limited, but it's like, oh, it's slightly too overcosted. I'm unsure if I actually would want to do anything directly with it. Oh, now this is interesting. Kindle of the Inner Flame. I mostly immediately saw the flashback of it costs cheaper. Instead of 3 in a red, it's 1 in a red, but you have to behold 3 elementals. Create a copy token of target creature you control, except it has haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. So it's like, oh, get around reduction. So that's pretty cool. Let's get into the next pack. Obviously, I'm not reviewing every single card that I generally open up. Now that I got 2 full. Oh no, that's a token. I was like, ooh, pretty full on item depicting a Morphog. No, it's just a Morphog token. But I did get a Fall Art Swamp. Pretty cool. I wasn't playing when original Lorwyn Morning Tide, all the packs were actively released, so ooh, as an additional cost to cast the spell, Blight 1, or pay 3 more. That is pretty cool, and I know a number of things in this set actually cares if your own things have counters, and then it's exile target creature. It's at sorcery speed, but it's still pretty cool in my mind. Oh, I was opening some packs on uh, Arena and saw this guy, Unbury. 2 mana, and it's either return 1 creature from your graveyard to your hand, or return 2 creatures with the same creature type back from your graveyard. So that's actually a pretty cool way of like if you return some like if I'm returning something from my graveyard to hand and I'm getting 2, I would expect to pay 3, 4 mana. But it's like, no, we can do it if you want to, but this has to be restriction. Same creature type. So it's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Granted, some decks that like digging stuff out of the graveyard will typically have sharing creature types. But right now, I'm getting a lot of, like, if I was actually doing this at an actual pre-release, I'm getting a lot of, like, Golgari rares so far. But the rare is Lorwyn Imperfect Naturalist. When it enters, may fall. Then you may put a creature or land from among the mere cards on top of your library. 2 Golgari hybrid. Tap, discard a land, create a 1/1 black and green worm token for each land in your graveyard. Actually cares about the number of lands in graveyards, which is pretty cool. Not sponsored by Coke. On to the next pack, shall we? I'm actually liking the pace of this video so far. Okay, they're at least doing the toughness matters, but somewhat, but it's still in the band. Colorizations. And the rare is the first non-white thing, Winnowing. 4 white convoke. Each player chooses choose a creature that player controls. Then let me actually read it like this. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all other creatures they control that don't share creature type with the chosen creature they control. That's an interesting board wipe. It costs 6, and it sucks against tribal decks, but it's a almost one-sided board wipe potentially. Yeah, it has Convoke to make it cheaper, but it's like still 6 man. I'm unsure how I actually feel about that. That is an granted. Some of the croplands in some of the farmlands somewhat remind me of Kaladesh. I know it's not Kaladesh nowadays, but it's still somewhat reminds me of that. 3 mana, put 4 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Great debuff. It's at instant speed. That is an absolutely that's absolutely great in my mind. So. And again, I enjoy the 2 mana for 2/1 with 4 strike during Mytons, and it's also a changeling. So, because this is Lorwyn, there is most likely going to be synergy between. There is gonna be some anthems effects, I'm almost guaranteed, but. What do you do? Oh, okay, it's Chomping Changeling. It's literally just Reclamation Sage, just with shape. It's just a changeling instead. So, I didn't. I was like, next card is gonna be my rare. It's not. It's an uncommon. In 1 mana, target creature gains trample and haste until end of turn. Draw a card. I like it. But the actual rare, which when I put it implicit entrance aside, was this is quite interesting and good thing they're finishing up the cycle. Temple Garden. Yeah, I knew that they printed some of the Sharklands into Eternities, Edge of Eternities. So it's in like it was going to be like, oh, when are they going to reprint the rest of them back into standard? And that's the thing. Um, I'm of always the opinion of something quite simple. Not all of the Shocklands are like can be pretty generic. Like Temple Garden. Hello. So I was doing something. But then you have some things like Steam vents. It's like, oh, Nick, you have to have like on Lorwyn. I would never believe that there's a bunch of Steam vents in uh, that are in uh, throughout Lorwyn. I'm just doing a quick. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Let me. Okay, let me change something here. Lorwyn Steam Vents, or Lorwyn Eclipsed Steam Vents. And that's how they're doing the Steam Vents, because I've always imagined the Steam Vents on Ravnica. And it's literally just like a bunch of pipes that's implicitly carrying a lot of steam. And now they're going like, oh, it's just Kratos and steam is coming out of it. Like, okay. Um, it's just, they all, is impartially some of these things that like, how am I supposed to? It is that like, how are we? Some of it is like, okay, where is this going? How are we supposed to be caring for this? And it is just like, yeah, some of it is like some of the cards, Gardener's Shrine. Mm, it's like by the name of it, how it's always been depicted in art has always made me go, how is this going to work in standard? How is this gonna work in this set? It's like, yeah, reprints are great. How is it like? How are they going to depict it? Grave Shifter. When this card enters, you may return a target creature from your graveyard. Target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. 4 mana for a 2/2 changeling. That is pretty cool in my mind. Um, for decks that want to, like, yeah, I'm trying, like, yeah, you would rather have a reanimate, but if it's like, I want to simply try to recycle things, like, that is an actual cool, like, returning, okay, I cast this, return this, I have another body on the field, and most likely if you're wanting to return things, you're wanting more to sacrifice. So to have that an author effect, but on a creature, it's like, oh, here's another sack target. And the rare is Twilight Divider. Um, when this creature attacks, surveil 2 black and a black for 3/3. When this creature attacks, surveil 2. Whenever two, whenever two, whenever one or more other creatures you control, if they uh, if they entered or were cast from graveyard, create a token that is a copy of one of them. This ability triggers only once per turn. Yeah, there's going to be some. Oh yeah, it's if they entered from or cast from the graveyard. So many decks that are reanimate. I'm building in Asia who uh, I have it Alicia who smiles at death, the first Alicia. I'm building her. Yeah, this is gonna be an auto include because uh, reanimating a bunch of small little dudes and then non-legendary dudes, then just copying them. Yeah, why am I not doing that? Yeah, and I do have a few reanimations, but it's a bigger things than legendary. But I have to appreciate some of the work that they're doing with tokens nowadays. That they're making them at least fall art because yeah, having the like doing the half like yeah, it's like oh yeah, we use the frames because it's like don't want to invest in a full art, but it's like I'm enjoying that they are actually doing that, like full art for the lands, for full art for the tokens. It's like yeah, it makes it a little bit of hassle when they actually have to have text boxes for keywords, but still, uh, full art uncommon, Eclipse Marrow. Uh, Whenever this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a Morfolk, Plains, or Island card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom. Okay, that is pretty cool. And because it doesn't say basic plains or basic island. Oh look, I can like. Oh look, I reveal a temple garden. I'll grab. That's a plains. I'll grab that. So that's pretty cool. Uh, uh, the veil is spray and mighty. Come on, focus. Uh, Font of green. Choose 2 creatures you control. Draw X cards, and the chosen creatures get +X/+X and gain trample until end of turn, where X is the difference between the chosen creature's powers. Okay, that's actually a pretty cool effect. And so that was the last pack, but this is actually somewhat getting into something. Um, so I heard somebody mention this, and it's like a few months back when Watson was like, "Hey, we're considering doing like reworking how Commander works with split cards," and I was like, I'm not feeling that. It starts muddying the water in terms of color identity, and for newer players, it's like it might be a little bit confusing, and even for me, it's like, oh, we're muddying the waters here because it's just confusing, like muddying the waters. Plus, it like, oh, here, like, oh, I'm playing a mono white deck, and yet I'm playing. Say, here's a split card that does a very blue thing. It's like, oh, come on, but this is probably why they do it. The vivid mechanic. Uh, Prismatic undercards. Vivid. When this enchantment uh, enters, sort your library for up to X cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Reveal those cards and put it into your hand, and then shuffle. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. I know they did a number of hybrid vivid cards, or at least one in it, but it's like, oh yeah, like prismatic undercards. I would never in my Moltone deck. I would Moltone commander deck. I would never consider that card because I'm mono green. So it's just like spend 4 mana to search up one color, like one green, one forest. Yeah, I may play an additional man, but I have a good amount of those cards already. I'm not needing a 4 mana version of that. that does nothing else. Okay? So it's like I understand, like, oh yeah, they want to, like, oh, Commando and Vivid, you can play the, it's like, not a, like, yeah, spice up some of the, like, things, but it's like, not at the cost of, uh, not at the cost of what makes Commando really unique in my mind, but that's a me thing. But yeah, uh, based on what I got, I think I am solidly, if I actually play this, I might have been in a solid Golgari deck potentially, or potentially at least a black splash and a single color. But yeah, so with some of the cards I've seen coming out of Lorwyn, I am. It's nice to see. Uh, Tell me your thoughts about Lorwyn down below, and see you around, folks.